in the whoops. He's lucky to stay on the racetrack. Around the corner slow. He's just completely out of rhythm right now.
Losing valuable seconds as Larocco, Emig, and Kedrowski are blasting away out front.
You see there on the triple, Emig looked over at Larocco and kind of cut him off. Larocco says, "There, take that." Now he's taking the second place away from Emig and sets his sights on his teammate.
Larocco with a good elbow to get free of Emig right now has moved into second place. Mike Kedrowski still your leader, and we see Jeremy McGrath is all the way back to fifth. Here's Jeremy.
Here's another look at that exchange through the whoop section. These guys flow right by both sides of McGrath. Well, he's just going backwards right now, and Kedrowski looking sharper than he's looked all season.
It's Kedrowski and Mike Larocco right behind him. What does Mike Larocco Sr. have to say? Jan Beekes is with him now.
Mike, this is one of the best races we have seen for a long time. Is there enough time for Mike to catch his teammate?
There's enough time, and I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, so I'm not going to say, but I think so.
You look confident to me. You think you can do it?
You bet.
Once again, we've got the inter-team rivalry going on, and look at Larocco. He's picking it up on Mike Kedrowski. Larocco, who earlier in the race looked like he was going to end up in 9th or 10th, has now smoothed it out to challenge the leader. Kedrowski gets him on the corner, negotiates those awful ruts, and goes into the whoop section, the leader.
And look at the lead he put on right there already. Boy, what aggressive move up the inside. As we take a look back here to McGrath, who's just really dropped off the pace, battling with his teammate. Looks like he gets the edge.
He has to battle his way out of 5th into 4th position there against Doug Henry.
Meanwhile, the leaders have checked out. He's got a long ways to go to try to make the podium tonight.
Larocco putting that foot out for balance as he leads Mike Kedrowski, his teammate, Emig in 3rd on our Suzuki Field Summary. Take a look at your favorite rider. We'll be back after these words. Round 6 of the U.S. Supercross Series, and Mike Larocco is out in front here in Atlanta, Georgia. There you see his mechanic and father, Mike Larocco Sr. with the stopwatch. The Rocket saw his chance. He'd got a 9th place start, and yet the field did not get away from him. What we really can see now from our Honda stopwatch is how far it is back to Jeremy McGrath. It is a 4.2-second lead on Jeremy.
That all happened pretty quick. Larocco and Kedrowski just came on strong, muscled their way to the front, and they've already put a huge lead on these guys. There you see Larry Ward, who's dropped well off the pace, and despite what they said earlier, Mike Craig right there, number 19, back in the race, trying to get some points. And Greg Albertine, 111, starting to come through now. Kind of off the pace. Pretty good ride for the 125 rider, Ryan Hughes, right there, number 9.
Disappointing one for Lamson, though, who was up in the top 4 there for quite a while, as well as Brian Swink.
Well, the track tonight has just been brutal on everyone. All that commotion in the first couple of laps, and it just took its toll on Steve Lamson.
We're waiting for Mike Larocco, our leader, who's been on the podium 3 times this year. A 3rd and 2 seconds. This would be his first win, as we see a straggler there, John Dowd. Here is Larocco. Kedrowski will be behind him. Take away the 2nd in the season's opener, and MK has to be encouraged because he's had a miserable season so far this year. But Mike Larocco out in front and starting to pull away.
And this is where Larocco really starts to shine. If these Supercross races were like 50 laps, I think he'd win them all. This is where he really shines. The ruts don't bother him. All the commotion, guys going down everywhere, that doesn't bother him either. He just gets stronger, and so does his teammate, Mike Kedrowski.
MK number 7, still closely followed by Jeff Emig, number 6, who was not faded in this race.
No, he hasn't dropped off the pace at all. It's a pretty good ride. You know, he had a lot of pressure, and he did hold the lead for a while, but these guys just had a little extra, and it's looking like a podium for Jeff Emig right now, and that's what he needs. He hasn't had one since Anaheim.
With Larocco with this kind of lead, it also looks like it's cast in Georgia clay that Jeremy McGrath's 5-race win streak will come to an end.
Oh, that's good, because now we can talk about something else. It'll probably be a little pressure off McGrath, and now he'll quit getting hounded about all these records and just focus on racing.
An encouraging ride for Jeff Emig of Yamaha. The white flag, final lap. Larocco, he saw his chance on lap 16 and took over the lead, and has extended that lead, trying to nail down his first victory of the year, his 7th of his career.
Well, it looked like McGrath was going to be able to regroup after he crashed. Even after the crash, he still looked pretty fast. He caught up to the leaders, and then his timing was just all off. And that's what everyone's been waiting for, a mistake by McGrath, and they took advantage.
Losing his rhythm, he had to actually fight to get back into 4th position. Larocco will likely move ahead of Ward in the points race when he takes the checkered flag. Here's Doug Henry. It's been a tough ride for Henry, but he's hung in there.
Well, it was maybe a disappointment, too. He led for so long. It looked like he was going to pick up a win, but he's dropped all the way back to 5th. That's about where he's been all season long. I think he's capable of more than that.
Led for 9 laps to be exact. As we take a look at Mike LaRocco, he doesn't look like he's slowing down a bit. And the checkered flag from Mike LaRocco. Just in front of MK, number 7, Mike Kudrowski. Emig will be on the podium in 3rd, McGrath 4th, Henry 5th. Ward will be in 6th. And the best finish of his first Supercross season, Albertine, is next in the order. A disappointment, of course, for Jeremy McGrath. His streak has been broken. He is dejected as LaRocco has put new energy into this series. We'll be back.
Of Power Wheels on ESPN2 has been brought to you by
Honda, defending champions and holders of the past 7 consecutive Supercross titles. Honda, come ride with us. And by Suzuki. Right now, your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. So history of sorts has been made here tonight. The first winner that wasn't Jeremy McGrath on the season. Mike LaRocco, Mike Kudrowski, Jeff Emig. What a great battle that was, with Jeremy McGrath up banging bars as well.
It was one of the best battles I've seen amongst so many riders so late in the race.
Let's hear from Jeremy.
Jeremy, you had a tough race tonight, and then, of course, you had that contact with Mike Craig. Was that what slowed you down, not being able to get the momentum, or was the bike hurt?
No, the bike was fine. It's just track was real rutted, technical. Once I fell into Mike there, I mean, kind of my fault, and lost all my momentum. Then I caught back up and then started making some mistakes again. It was a really bad mentally race for me. I mean, I'll get it back. Can't win them all.
But now, doesn't that kind of take the pressure off a little? You don't have to worry about strings. You can just go out and, I mean, everyone's always gunning for you. Does it actually maybe help you that they beat you once, now you can go back after them again?
Yeah, it brings you back down to reality. I mean, next week I'll train harder and, you know, come back and win.
Well, it's a great race. We enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Jeremy McGrath still with a lead of 23 points. LaRocco 1 point ahead of Ward. MK just 12 in back of Larry Ward.
Mike, not only did you get that first victory, but that had to be a great race for you.
Yeah, it was nice to finally get up there and see what was going on. You know, I knew where everybody was at. I could see what was happening, and you know, I put myself in the right place, and you know, I made the passes when I could, and it paid off.
Now, your teammates said the difference was that you guys were going to try and race the racetrack instead of racing Jeremy and the others. Was that something that helped you too?
No, I think what he does is different than me. You know, I've been out there racing, you know, 100% all the time. I just had my problems, and you know, that time I struggled early in the race. I made mistakes. I just, you know, wide open, and I made it back up.
You think it was the rough track? Did that make the difference for you?
The ruts, you know, made it real easy to make mistakes, and you know, I felt good in practice. I felt good all day, so you know, I was comfortable.
Now, what was the toughest move you had to make during the race to take a position?
It was really hard to say. You just got to be cautious because, you know, not everybody was riding straight out there, and you just had to, you know, make sure you didn't get taken out and ride, but still ride aggressive.
Hey, congratulations. Thanks.
Well, is there now some realistic hope of bringing this series back to a competitive realm, David?
Oh, I think so. That's definitely the best race I've seen this whole season, and LaRocco takes a huge chunk out of McGrath's points lead.
Has the spell been broken, or will the two-time champion come back? We'll be with us from Indianapolis our next time around.